Thanks everyone for joining our webinar today. My name is Johnny Freeman. I'm Pozotron's Senior Customer Support Manager, joined by our wonderful CEO, Adam Fritz. And today we will be walking you through Pozotron's script preparation tools, which are really powerful tools designed to help you streamline and simplify the pre-production stage of your audio projects. And today is a masterclass. So we'll be taking you through every nook and cranny, every basic feature and advanced feature. This is a really deep dive into these tools and how you can utilize them to increase the, hopefully, productivity, efficiency, and accuracy of your projects. With that, we'll move forward. So today, specifically what we're going to be talking about, I'll start off with a script prep overview, and that's going to be going through our pronunciation guide, our character voices guide, and our export marked script tool. Those are our prep tools. Going through each of those in detail. After that, I'll show you how you can save your data in Pozotron using our custom dictionaries, different methods for holding on to your hard-earned research. Then I'll go into profile settings to show you how you can customize your workflow when doing script prep. And lastly, we'll show you how the research you do in the prep tools in Pozotron can actually increase your efficiency in the proofing stage as well if you're going to proof your project through Pozotron 2. And with that, I will move forward. First, starting with our pronunciation guide. Actually, I will pull up Pozotron and show you first how to create a project if this is your first time taking a look. You will need to create a project to use any of our tools. So I'm logged into Pozotron here. And to use our tools, the first thing you'll do is hit this Create New Project button here. You'll want to give it a title and upload your manuscript. This is where you can upload your PDF, EPUB, text, or Word document. And this is how Pozotron's going to help you. So you want to upload your project here. There are a whole bunch of settings in here, but for the sake of efficiency, we'll just leave it at these two settings here. Just give it a title, upload your script, and that will create a project. So to access any of our tools, you'll click on a project. That'll bring you to the proofing tool first. And you will notice we did update our UI recently. So all of the production tools are listed here on the left-hand side instead of a toolbar at the top. And to access the pronunciation research section, we'll hit pronunciation here. Now, this is a really powerful tool. Essentially, what it does when you upload your script to Pozotron is going to process the script and it's going to analyze every single word in your script and put together a suggestions list for you. And these are words that Pozotron thinks you may need help researching the pronunciations for. And one thing you'll notice here, this does it does matter your zoom level in your browser for it to line up nicely for different monitors and different sizes. You'll want to zoom in or out so that it looks nice here. If you're too zoomed in, you'll see it'll actually give you this error here. That's a common thing that you can run into. So just zoom out by holding Control and spinning your mouse wheel to get it to line up nicely. Now the suggestions list, Pozotron's taken a look at every single word in your script and putting together words here that you can add to your research list or ignore. And when you add a word to your research list, you'll see it's going to jump over to the right-hand side. So this is your suggestions list. This is your actual research list. And when a word moves to the right-hand side here, it's going to pull a phonetic spelling and recording
abortive
from the dictionary you have selected in the top left corner here. So you'll see I have MW for Merriam-Webster. If I open this up, you'll see there are a few different options to select. So this is the first place Pozotron will check for a pronunciation. So you can choose your favorite dictionary for it to check first. If you would like to see any other suggestions from our different resources, that's what this cloud button is for right here. So clicking on the cloud button, you'll see it will open up a window showing you everything that Pozotron uh, was able to find online from Merriam-Webster, Oxford US, Oxford Great Britain, any saved entries to your own account, and all of these different entries from Forvo, which are really helpful to get different dialects and different examples.
Abortive.
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 So depending on what you need or what you'd prefer, you can then press the plus button here to save that to the entry here. And
Just a couple things here while Johnny's handling something else. In terms of our API dictionaries, we're always looking to add other API dictionaries. So if you have a suggestion for other dictionary sources, please let us know. Can't guarantee that they're going to have an API that we can access, but we're certainly always open to adding more for sure.
yes, absolutely. Any resources you use, we'd love to see if we can integrate with them. Well, I'm going to pull up this slide here to make sure I'm covering everything that you need to know. So there's a few things with the suggestions list in particular. The first thing I'll show you is the sensitivity settings. So this is really handy. It's a way for you to actually customize the kinds of words that Pozotron is going to pull onto your suggestions list for your project. So you can access that with the little cog settings icon here. This will open up the sensitivity settings. And you'll see here, I have it set to show me as many complex words as possible. And if I move this down to fewer, you'll see right here, there are 17 complex words on my suggestions list. If I then hit save, you'll see that went from 17 to 1. So it's going to be more particular about what it defines as a complex word, depending on the slide bar here. And just one quick thing I have to add here. The foreign words as well has a sensitivity here. So this is just increasing or decreasing the threshold for what Pozotron believes is a foreign word and a complex word. So if I move this to more right now, let's see what I'm at. I'm at 4 foreign words. If I move this to more, we'll see that's gone up to 14. And it's pulled in things like 4:01 a.m., the word AI. These are not exactly foreign words, but they're not recognized as English either, as English words in a dictionary. So that's kind of how you can have control over what sort of words show up here. I like to have them set to more just to see everything that Pozotron believes could be something I'm interested in. But play around with that and find a setting that works for you. You'll also notice a brand new feature here, which are these two buttons here, to research all and ignore all. And these are really powerful tools. When we created this tool, we did intend for you to go through each one. So you get a curated list of words that you actually need to reference. And you can ignore all the words that you don't. So for 4:01 a.m., for example, I'll hit ignore because I don't need to research that. But we did add this at the request of users. So if instead of going through and adding each word, you can research all. Now, what this will do is add every single word from your suggestions list to your research list. And if you upload it, I have a demo script in this project, but if you upload an actual script that's, hundreds of pages long, you might have 800, 900 words on the suggestions list. So clicking research all, it will take a little while for all of those words to be added to your research list. And just want you to keep that in mind. It's not going to do it instantly. We do have to wait for the response to Merriam-Webster or from Merriam-Webster or whatever dictionary you're using to actually research the words. There's two ways you can use this. what I would recommend is to go through and add words that you want to research, ignore words that you don't. You'll see this will populate the list here. Um, and you can also use the hotkeys R and I on your keyboard. R will research something, I will ignore. And it looks like we do have a question from Cindy. But Cindy, make sure for the next question, just make sure you put it in the Q&A box so we don't miss it. But it does say, hey, Johnny, I did click research. However, the words are in French. Should I choose a particular dictionary? That is a great question. And absolutely. So these dictionaries here, Oxford US, Oxford GB, and Merriam-Webster, these are English dictionaries. If you have a foreign word, I would recommend selecting Forvo here and leave the language on any. You can choose specific language here. You can choose French to only get French pronunciations, but I've found Forvo actually works a little better if you leave it on any, because it might not be categorized correctly on their website. And this will have a better chance of finding a French pronunciation for you. You can also click this cloud button here to see any entries from Forvo or any of our other dictionaries as well. But I would recommend clicking up here and choosing Forvo. And thanks for your question. Good. So the suggestions list, research all, ignore all. I will show you now how this actually works. So if I click research all, it's going to ask me if I want to add all of these words to my research list. And there's a warning, this action can only be undone by removing each word individually. So there's no reset. Uh, you can't redo this action without resetting the entire project. So use it sparingly. If I click yes, you'll see up in the top right corner, it says processing has started. So this is the new, this is another new feature that will be implementing for big requests. So if you need a large batch action done in Pozotron, you'll see up here in the top right, there's a little hourglass icon. And if I open this, you'll see that, well, it's actually completed because I only had 37 words on here. But it'll tell you if it's in progress and when you started it. So now if I refresh my page, you'll see I have 44 words on my research list. So it just added everything to the research list, which hopefully will be a big time saver for you. So if you want to use that feature, just remember it won't look like it's doing anything. You'll need to refresh your page and you'll see all of the words appear on your research list. Let's see. Okay, so those are the options for the suggestions list. The other thing I wanted to bring up, so there's two ways to add words to your research list and have Positron research
Abortive.
Algorithm.
these words for you, which is really the main point of this tool is to speed up that research process. You can use the suggestions list. You can also import lists of words. So if you read through the book and you create your own list of words, you can import words in this field here, just adding one word at a time. One word per line. We'll have it, I'm just thinking of random words here. That will let you import these words. You can also import from Excel, or you can add any word you want from this little field here, just typing them in one at a time, hit enter, and that'll add it to the list. Yeah, so those are the ways you can get words on your research list and have Positron do the heavy lifting instead of Googling each one of these words and then saving them on your iPhone notes or anything. You can have them all stored here. All right, now, so that's the suggestions list. When you're actually researching a word, you'll see a lot of these were found. These are words that Positron was able to find in our online dictionaries. But you'll see some words, let me add a word like Dinah. And I'm actually going to, since I have a lot of words on my list, since I added them all, I'm actually going to organize this. There's a filter button here. I want to see only the words that are incomplete. And you'll see this gets rid of any word that does have a pronunciation and just lets me focus on the words that need a little bit more work. And this is where you will have to do some of your own research. So for the word Dyna and CCH, we can see I actually don't need that. So if we have a word on there that you don't need, there's a little X button here to remove it. For this word Dyna, the first thing that I recommend you do if a word comes back empty is to use this cloud button here. Because chances are this word will be found in one of our online dictionaries. You can see there are a ton of different examples in Forvo.
Dino.
Dina,
Dina,
Oh, excuse me. So depending on the dialect you need, this is an English one. I could use that, but for example's sake, I'm going to say this came back empty, which can happen, for a word like this. If I open this up, you'll see it didn't find anything across our online dictionaries. And that will happen. So for words like this, what I would recommend after you check the cloud button is to come over to the right-hand side here to inspect these, particularly these 3 links on the right-hand side. These are links to OneLook, to Youglish, and to How'd You Say. These are different pronunciation resources that don't have an API, so we can't pull it in automatically. But if I wanted to research this word in Youglish, I just have to click that Youglish button. That'll bring me straight to a video where someone's saying the word.
Dinah Washington.
And I can listen to that pronunciation there, which is really helpful. So now that I've heard that, what I'm going to do is click on this microphone button here. This opens up the actual settings of this word. So in here, I can record a pronunciation. Dyna, Dyna. I can upload a pronunciation as well if I have a clip of it stored somewhere else. I can enter a phonetic spelling. I don't know how to type an IPA, so I just do something like that. I can also link to Youglish. So if I come back to Youglish and I copy the URL and I paste it in the URL field here, and once I save it, oh, now you can see it actually removed it from this list because I'm only looking at incomplete. So I'm going to go back to pronunciation. And we'll scroll down to find Dyna, which is right here. You'll see this has been saved. I also have a link that I can click to check my original source, Dyna, and I can check my original pronunciation there. So really powerful tool designed to help you speed up that process. You don't need to Google your life away looking for these obscure words. Now, sometimes you will not find anything online, and that is because most likely the word is made up, or yeah, particularly if it's made up, or if you need help from another person, you can actually invite anyone you want to this project to help you with the pronunciations here. And the share button has been moved. It is down here now. So you'll see there's a share button. And I've got author@author.com if I needed to invite the author for help in the research. I also have Adam here as a researcher. So to add anyone, you just put their email address in here, give them a role, and hit done. And the role really defines what they can access in your Pozotron project. So if you have questions on what role to use, we tried to name them intuitively, so you don't need to do too much research. But if you do want to see the roles, you can click here to see their access levels. Once they've been added to a project, a couple other actions you can do. They can obviously come in here. They can just look through. They can do everything you can do. But you can also assign particular words to a collaborator. So if I come down here and I find Grimpin doesn't have a pronunciation, I'm going to select Grimpin. I'm going to select, I guess, LibriVox. Any of these words that don't have a pronunciation. What I'm going to do is select them. And then up at the top here, let's move our faces. You'll see there is a assign user button right here, this little person icon.
You want to assign them to me, I can add something in very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll assign Adam. So now he has been assigned. If I scroll down here, we'll see this little A on um, these words to show that they have been assigned to Adam. And I'm also going to assign a couple of words to myself, webinars@pozotron.com, because there's a helpful filter here where I can go to only words that are assigned to me. If I do that, I'll see only these words that have been assigned to webinars. And Adam can do the same thing on his end. He can just see the words that I need his help on, can come in here and record pronunciations or anything like that, and make it really easy to collaborate in here. And I'm looking, I see a couple of questions in the chat. So reminder,
Just
if you do
just
have
to
question, oh, go ahead.
Johnny, if you refresh, you should see MRCS showing as my
Oh, don't see anything yet. Oh, MR, oh,
no.
you added to it. Sorry, I was expecting a comment. I see. So you can see here, Adam went in. He actually recorded MRCS. Really easy.
MR,
You can actually hear myself in there, so that's pretty fun.
and I've added a
Uh,
comment for you as well.
awesome. So I'm going to refresh this, which will show off our other feature, which is adding comments. You can see there is a comment here. So here's my comment. So if you do have questions, you can respond. You can, thank you very much, sir.
Johnny, just a couple of questions while you're doing this.
Yeah, go for it.
Can you show the share button again? Just a reminder, please use, there we go. Thank you,
Oh,
Claire.
thanks,
Good
Claire.
call. Does the person you assign permission need to have Positron? Yes, most definitely. The reason is edit capability. If they didn't need to have a Positron user account, edit capability would be open to the open internet, so anyone who had the link could come in and do it. There's no charge for them. They can create a free account, but it does need to be behind a password because that is extremely important for security and safety of your data, not ours, your data.
Absolutely. And Rick, just to add on to that, if you do add someone, they don't need to have their account before you can invite them. And also, Claire, here's the share button. It's at the bottom left now in this little box here, but that'll open up the share window. And if you do add someone that doesn't have a Positron account, the email that they get saying, hey, you've been invited to collaborate with Rick Hall on X project, there will be a link when they click to open it. It'll have them create an account, and it is totally free for them to create an account and access your project. But as Adam said, we want to keep your voice recordings, your scripts, all behind a security wall, so not everybody can access them. Great, thanks for the questions. We'll move on. So that is the pronunciation guide. Adam, looks like you stepped away for a second, but let's see if there's anything else I forgot
I
to
no,
mention.
I'm still here. I
Oh,
just haven't eaten any food yet, so I'm eating a banana. Okay, I'm
no,
assuming nobody
no
wanted to
problem.
see me eat a banana on a
No,
webinar.
I think that's, yeah, fair assumption. Okay, well, I will go through a couple other explanations here. The just on the suggestions list, I think I glanced over this. The kinds of words it's going to pull onto your list are listed in categories right here: capitalized rare, complex, and foreign. So capitalized rare are unique proper nouns. You'll see these. This is a, oh, it actually said it's foreign. But we can see here if I return to research, oh, it doesn't show the categories on these. Let me cancel atavism. You'll see this has a tag of capitalized rare because it is a capital word and it is uncommon. Complex words, doesn't matter if it's capitalized or not. It's just looking for complicated words, looks at the individual letters in a word, and based off of certain combinations, it'll suggest this as a difficult to pronounce word. And then obviously foreign. So anything it doesn't recognize as the primary language of your book, we will pull that in under foreign. And a couple other things over here. The filters and sorting. So you can always sort this by in a number of different ways, number of comments. So if I need to quickly find this word here, which has comments, last edited, there's a whole bunch of different ways to do this. Number of occurrences, you can see the words that will appear the most in the book, prioritize based off of that. It's up to you. And then filter will actually remove certain words from your view, so you can focus on only incomplete, only empty, assigned to me, things like that. So use those. There's also a page limitation here. So if you just want to look for pronunciations or words that occur in pages 7 through 29, you can actually put that in here, 7 through 29. And I don't even think there's 29 pages in this book. But you'll see it updated the list to only show me words that appear after page 7. So if you're working on this chapter by chapter, it's actually really nice to filter your view there. Lastly, there are a couple of importing and export options. I showed you how to import words. You can import audio recordings. This is just in case you get a bunch of MP3s from your author explaining how to say their alien race emperor's name and all of their other made-up words. You can import them into Pozotron. If I had a pronunciation for Pozotron here and sharing, I could import phonetic audio recordings, drag and drop my MP3s or other file here. You just have to make sure that the file is named positron.mp3, and the example's actually here, or wave if you're uploading waves, etc. You'll just want the name, the actual word, .mp3, and you can upload 30 of these at a time, 100 at a time, and it will automatically update this play button to be your recording there. So very useful. Lastly, the transfer research is a way for you to, especially useful for a series of audiobooks. Once you've got all of your words here, let's say this is book 1, I can then move this to any other project in Pozotron, and it'll take all the words from this list, put them in the new project, and it'll actually hide, it'll only show me words that reappear in the second book. So if you do, a Game of Thrones kind of thing, there's tons of characters and pronunciations. You can make sure you pronounce things consistently and perform characters consistently throughout a whole project by transferring this as you go. And there's kind of a lot there, so if you do have any questions on these, please don't hesitate to let me know. Alrighty. Yeah, let's move on because the exports will work for the character guide, and it's about time we get to the character guide, which is our second script preparation tool. Works very similarly to the pronunciation guide. However, it's looking for characters to suggest for you this time. So I'll pull that up. You can access that on the left side here. Just go to characters and again, open suggestions. Now, this is looking for characters. As I said, so you'll see there are a bunch of names in this list here. I can add a character to my character guide just by clicking this add character button. For some reason, it was being a little funny. So Sherlock has been added to my list. I'm also going to add, actually, we'll stick with Sherlock for now. So the point of this tool is really to be a repository for all of your character information. We firmly believe in the one source of truth or single source of truth workflow or operating method where all of your pronunciations, characters, everything lives in one place. So when you add a character, this allows you to enter a description for them so that you can actually describe what their character is like, their appearance. So Sherlock is a brilliant and obstinate detective who is rude, he's tall, and he smokes a pipe. Now, these are details about Sherlock. Voice notes are what he's supposed to sound like, or the way his voice is described in the book, so you can enter details here. And a good way to find these cues is actually to click on this count button, because this is going to show me every single occurrence of Sherlock throughout the whole book. So I can take a look at this first, probably should have shown you this first, where you can actually see every occurrence of Sherlock. He, blew little wavering rings of smoke up to the ceiling. Okay, so he smokes. He's usually very late in the morning, so I can actually just copy that and put that as a description right here. And for his voice notes, if there are any descriptions there, then you can do the same thing here. But I'm in the voice notes, I'm going to type out he's got a deep baritone, speaks quickly, and has a London accent. And finally, you can actually record voice samples right here. You'll have the pronunciation of the name
Sherlock.
in blue, and in purple, you can record voice notes. And Lindsay, this is for you. Hello, Watson, blah, blah, blah. And that is my best Sherlock. I've been practicing. So that'll actually save a clip there that I can refer to at any point. You can actually record multiple of these. You can add, I think, an unlimited amount of different voice samples. You can upload clips that you're using for inspiration. Thank you very much, Claire. I appreciate it. You can also add photos if you like. Some people like to add a photo. I think the reason why we implemented this feature was a narrator of ours he just wanted to upload a picture of Matthew McConaughey, and that told him everything he needed to know about performing a particular character. So you can upload any photo you'd like there. And this will store everything in your character voices guide. Couple other things to mention on this. The automatic research tools. So this is our character descriptions tool. You will see if on the suggestions list, you will see there are some entries that have this AI tag. It looks like Gatsby has it here. This means we're trying to have Pozotron actually do some of the research for you and inspect the book for cues, for descriptions of the character's voice, for the descriptions of their character. And if I add one to my character guide that has that AI tag, this will come in slightly pre-filled with some details about Gatsby, who Pozotron has figured out is a male and speaks in a urgent, matter-of-fact, or distant way. And you can see kind of what it's actually just grabbing cues from these mentions of them. So that is what it's looking for. These tools are in beta, but they are very helpful. You can actually sort your suggestions list here to AI generated right here to see all of the entries that Pozotron was able to find these details on. And it does need to be fairly confident about these, actually very confident about these for it to put this tag there, which is why you see it doesn't show up for every character. But if I add these here, you'll see Daisy is a female, excited, seductive, low. Valerie, flat, even, calm. So it is grabbing descriptions of these character voices. Yeah, let's see. Transfer research, I did already mention, but I will go over a couple of other export options here. So under import export, you have the same options under the pronunciation guide. And if you are transferring research, you do need to do it first on the pronunciation guide and secondly on the character guide to transfer each of those to a new project. The last thing I'll show you here is the last export is the export marked script feature. So this will actually give you a head start in marking up your script. I'll pull up my presentation because this is a good example of what it will look like in Adobe Acrobat. It does work in any PDF reader, but exporting a marked script will take, you'll see for Sherlock here, all of the voice notes, the character description, the voice samples, and the pronunciation are all included in a comment here. You'll see for Sherlock, the color coding that we use, characters are blue, and any word on your pronunciation guide is yellow. If they are on both, you'll see they come through in green. And this will just mark every single time Sherlock or any other word on your list comes up in the script, so you can quickly remind yourself without leaving your script details about the characters. And this is really easy to do. It's kind of a one click and done setting here. We'll just go to export mark script, and you can tell it what data you'd like it to include. You can customize if you only want the pronunciations included, only the character information, if you want all occurrences or only the first occurrence. So if you don't want it to mark every single time, you can do it that way as well. And you can also tell it what data to include in the comment and turn off things you don't care about. If you don't want the links to the audio, you just want the descriptions, you can do that as well. All right. Well, I'm going to take a sip of water and see if there's anything else I forgot to mention.
No, it all looks really good. At the end, John, you and I haven't talked about this, but if we do have time, I can give a quick 2 or 3 minute preview of the puzzle prompter.
Oh, exciting. Okay. Well, I'll wrap up because that is yeah, an exciting new feature we're working on, which I think everyone would love to see. One thing I did forget to mention is the share online packet. So one question that you had earlier, Rick, was do they need an account? If you don't want them to have to create an account and go through that, you can also just share and export with them. You can export to Excel. You can export a character packet, which will download a bunch of MP3s for all the pronunciations that you can share with them. But the best option, I think, is the share online packet button. This will allow you to just send them a link. So if I just send this link over or paste this in my browser, you'll see it'll bring me to a read-only version of what you had in Pozotron. So this is my character guide. I can't edit anything or change anything, but I could listen to the voice recordings, the pronunciations, all of those details are available here. And you can do the same thing for the pronunciation guide. You can share an online packet here. So this will give them access to everything. They won't be able to edit, but if they just need to give you some feedback, that's a great option as well. Alrighty. So those are our script prep tools. Now, a couple of ways to use the data here. Custom dictionaries is something I haven't shown you yet. This is where you can save character and pronunciation entries to your account, and which allows you to then mass import, export between projects. And we created this because, well, there's two ways you can use us to store all of your hard-earned research on characters and pronunciations. One, you can leave it in your project and it will live there forever. We don't delete any of your data. We won't get rid of your projects. And if you need a pronunciation, you can always access the project and transfer it between different projects. That's fine. You can also, if you see under import export here, there's options to transfer all words to the PD, which is the pronunciation dictionary. And this will take all of the words in this project and move them. You click your bubble in the top right, go to dashboard, and under studio tools, go to pronunciations. You'll see this is kind of an account-wide pronunciation guide. I've saved a bunch of words from different projects in here. And these will live on your account, not associated to any project for as long as you'd like. So people have different preferences. You can leave them in your projects. However, some folks want to delete their projects as soon as they're done. So if you do want to delete your project, you won't lose all your data if you have moved it to your account dictionary. So that is an option, and the same thing exists for your characters. I think this is really a great way to just store every character you've ever done. If you ever need to access their voice samples, their information, anything like that, can have them all saved to your account, not tied to any project. But it's really up to you. If you want to leave all your projects in Pozotron, you can always access it in the project as well. It's just kind of a preference thing there. But the two ways to add words to your account, you can always press this little plus icon here. This will just add it to your dictionary. So it successfully added that. So now the word sharing is saved on my account. So you can do it one by one like that, or we can transfer all words to the pronunciation dictionary. And you can also take every word from your pronunciation dictionary and put it into a project if you want. You have that option as well. Yeah, great feature there. Moving forward to the profile settings. So these are a couple of things that can be easily overlooked, but can save you a lot of time and make your workflow in Pozotron a little more customized to how you work. So if I go to dashboard and we'll go to settings right here. See, there are options. There are proofing options as well. Today, we're going to focus on the script prep options, which is only a few here, but you can choose your default dictionary. So if you like using Merriam-Webster like I do, instead of changing it to Merriam-Webster on each project, you can just select Merriam-Webster here, and it'll always use that as your primary dictionary. Ignored research words. These are words that will never show up on your suggestions list if you add them to this list here. So and that's actually something I think I missed going through that. So the suggestions list, if we go to pronunciations, we open suggestions. Let's say I never ever want Pozotron to recommend this word to me. I never needed to do that. Under the three-dot menu here, you can actually click this and ignore the word in all projects. That will add it to the list I just showed you in the settings. And that means in future projects, it will never suggest this to you, which is another great way of tailoring the suggestions list to your vocabulary. So it's only pulling in words that you care about. There is a hotkey for that. If instead of doing the three-dot menu and ignore word in all projects, I believe you can just press T, which is right here. So I can press T, and this will act on the top item in the suggestions list. You'll see it removed it from the list and added to ignored research words. And I actually wonder if I press Z here, look at that. It actually undoes that. So Z is also an undo if you do that by accident. Few helpful hotkeys here. R to research. C will actually add this to the character voices guide because sometimes characters get suggested on this suggestions list. So you can press C to move it to the character guide. I will ignore a word. Y will show the word context. So I can press Y to see mentions of this word. And if I want to see all of them, I'll just click count as well. That would show me every single occurrence of the word. And lastly, undo. Yeah, so those are a few different hotkeys, which can be really helpful as you go through a really big suggestions list. But that will add it to, let's press T again. That'll add it to the ignored research words. So if I go back to my account, let's go to settings. You'll see CCH has been added, and this is not case sensitive. So very useful. The only other things in this settings box here are the disabling of automatic pronunciation from online dictionaries or from user-selected pronunciation data. Basically, what this means is if you don't want Pozotron to auto-populate a pronunciation, you can turn these on. And the point of this, let's go back to the suggestions list here. The point of this is if I don't want, and it might just work on future projects here, but this auto-populated atavism here.
Atavism.
And if I have those settings turned on a new project, this will come through with no phonetics. It'll make every word come through with no phonetics. And the point of that is it allows you to individually inspect each word and make sure that the pronunciation that is suggested is the one you want to use. And it also helps you keep track of what words you've gone through and approved or not. So a couple of kind of unique settings there that you do have the option to turn on. Alrighty, well, let me move through the end. Last thing, actually. And Adam, how long do you think you need for the sneak peek?
Just a couple minutes, as many as we have.
Okay, fair enough. Good. Well, script sync. So I'm getting into a couple of tools here that this is where the research that you do in Pozotron can actually impact how you proof in Pozotron. And I'll start off by showing you the script sync tool. So you can see in this screenshot here, Sherlock, I added the description, I added a voice recording, I added his character notes. And what that does is when you're proofing, you'll actually be able to access these recordings right in the proofing interface. So if I'm going to go to Sherlock Holmes in here, and you'll see it just looks normal right now. There's nothing going on, but up in the top right, see these options for script sync. Let me zoom in a little bit because that's pretty zoomed out. And if I turn on highlight pronunciations, you'll see it starts doing that. And if you highlight characters, we're seeing Sherlock and the different words I have on my pronunciation guide popping up here for me. So this can be really helpful when I'm researching or when I'm proofing this chapter. Let's start at the beginning.
Chapter 1. Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
And so Sherlock, let's see how I decided I was going to pronounce this in my pronunciation guide.
Sherlock.
Sherlock there.
Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
And that's the actual recording. So I can compare what pronunciation I want to use and what was actually said. This is really useful for words like shaman and shaman. If that comes up in the book here, you can see compare what was said in the recording to what you actually intended to pronounce it with in your pronunciation guide. You can also see that the voice notes are included here. So if I listen to a line of dialogue by Sherlock,
Well, Watson, what do you make of it?
I can then compare that, which obviously sounds very different from my "Hello, Watson" interpretation of Sherlock Holmes. But we can see you can actually compare the voice clip and the line of dialogue to ensure the correct character voice was used, that a character voice was used, that it was the right person. And essentially it enables a two-way communication between your prep and your post. So very powerful tool there. And it's just on by default. If you do prep in Pozotron, you can just come in here to turn on script sync. So that's the biggest thing there. Let's see. Oh, that's yeah, I did forget one part of this, which is really useful actually. If I wanted to, so it's two-way because one, I can access everything from my prep tools, but I can also send clips to my prep tools. So what if I just click and highlight a line of dialogue by Sherlock here, there is a create audio snippet option here, this orange microphone button. And that will allow me to, this opens up my prep tools, and I can actually go to characters and add this as a voice sample to Sherlock. But what that's going to do is it's going to take that line that I highlighted, and we can see here.
Well, Watson, what do you make of it?
It just grabbed that line and put it into Sherlock here. So it's really helpful for updating characters as well. You can also click and highlight and just download these clips if you'd like with the download audio button there. All right, the final tool to show you is the scan occurrences tool, which is not a prep tool, but it is included in the script preparation package. So if you do use any of our prep tools, you also get access to the scan occurrences tool, which can be a project saver. It can really save you a ton of time. What it does is it finds any spoken word in your audio files. So what that means is if I go to scan occurrences, it'll also take every word from your pronunciation guide automatically. So we can see all these words right in here. And instead of searching your script for these words, it's searching your audio. You can see Watson was said 10 times in the audio file. And let's say this is the pronunciation.
Watson.
That's good. And I just want to make sure that Watson was pronounced that way throughout the whole project.
Watson?
So I can listen. This will bring every single time Watson was said, create an audio clip. So I can listen to this back to back throughout the whole project.
Hey, Watson. Watson. My dear Watson.
So all these different examples of Watson. And if there were any issues with this, I can select these. I can select the particular ones that have issues, and I can immediately mark them as a pickup with this annotate button. just create annotations for those, or I can even just export DAW markers to find every single time I said Watson in my Audacity session, in my Pro Tools session, whatever. And if you've ever had to go through and find a word that you mispronounced 3 times in a 20-hour audiobook, this will save you a ton of time. Very nice. That was all the tools I wanted to show you. And before I get into best practices and the general stuff, I'll pass it over to Adam to give you a sneak peek into a tool we're working on that we're very excited about. So over to you, Adam, and I'll stop sharing my screen.
Okay, thank you, Johnny. I will go quickly here. I do not have rights to show. Oh, no, I do. No, send request. You approve me. Just a panelist and not a co-host. Okay. Why won't it let me share sound? Okay, it's not gonna let me share sound. Zoom is just
They changed things on us. Did it? Is it
it's
grayed out
just
for you?
no, it's completely grayed out. Yeah.
Huh. Well, I
I
was just
wonder
doing that.
I wonder if it's a permission thing. Whatever. Okay.
All
So
right. Well, no problem. I
so
will.
here I've got the Pozotron open. I'm actually just going to reset this project, which I should have done previously. You can see my screen, I'm assuming, right, Johnny?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so users will not see this pause prompter button. We have given beta access to a small subset of users to do some testing and some trialing on it. But you're going to click on pause prompter and then click on open. And what this does, this will display your whole script. You can set it to auto scroll. The intention with the first release of this is actually to be a tool for your full read of your book when you're doing your prep. So instead of having, we are a big believer in eliminating context switching. So one of the main parts of our proofing tool, one of the main values of our proofing tool is it eliminates what used to happen, which was you had a PDF open, you have an audio player open, and you have an Excel sheet open, for example. And every time when you're manually reading between reading the script, listening to the audio at the same time, you'd pause it, then you'd have to go into your Excel and manually type it. We're trying to do the same thing in terms of limiting context switching in your prep. In that case, you'd have your PDF open or your iPad or your Kindle or whatever you're using. Then you have either our prep tools or Google Sheet or whatever you're using. The goal is everything gets pulled into one. So when you're reading down here, I'm going to scroll. So here's what I don't know how to pronounce Pozotron. Double click on the word or highlight the word in any way you want. Click add pronunciation. I could say Pozotron, Pozotron. Save. Okay, I'm going to keep scrolling down here. Hey, Sherlock Holmes. That sounds like it's a character I should probably pay attention to. Add character. I could add in a bunch of notes here if I want, or I can just click save and continue moving on. And you can see it will automatically highlight all of these things. So let's say, oh, hey, he was usually very late in the mornings. Let's assume that that is something really important about Sherlock Holmes. Character description. Click save. We are changing the UI, so you don't have to scroll down to click save here. Let's see, what else? Yeah, Dr. Mortimer. There's another character for you. Click save. So again, instead of actually scrolling, you can set it to auto scroll, so you can just read this way.
That's so cool. Yeah, so this is almost replacing the suggestions list here, because that's our method right now of trying to find your characters and everything. But if you're doing a full read, you can just double click and access the prep tools right away, which is so cool.
Okay, so here's another. Yeah, so Johnny, that's exactly. You still will be able to use the suggestions list, but this is just another option. So here's another example. So there was such a ring of conviction in his voice that I glanced up in surprise. So I could select this. Well, first I could Copy that, and then I could select this line of dialogue, and I could go add comment. So there, it's marked with ring of conviction. So then when we get into the record mode, all of these comments and everything will be visible. So for example, Sherlock Holmes, if you had my name is Sherlock Holmes, and I'm a wonderful, amazing, super duper detective. So you could, as you're going through your script, you could go, oh man, I can't remember what my voice for Sherlock Holmes is supposed to be. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and I'm a wonderful, amazing, super duper detective. And I just realized that you can't actually hear that because I couldn't share sound. But
Oh, we
anyways,
actually can.
oh,
The audio's coming through.
probably through my speakers. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the idea. Basically, this will allow you to add comments, you can also highlight. So underline and highlight. Currently, underline's only available, but highlighting will be available as well. You'll be able to highlight in different colors, so highlighting lines of dialogue. And then once the core functionality is built, we'll be adding on automatic highlighting, integrating our automated, character dialogue and description tools and all of these things. So we're very excited about this. We originally thought it would be something that would more help with the actual recording. But we do, after some focus groups on the idea of this, we actually came to the conclusion that allowing people to do their full read of their book in Pozotron was certainly the initial use case. Eventually, we'd also like to get to this point where you can, if you choose, you can record your audio into Pozotron, your full audiobook audio into Pozotron, or your full read essentially. And then eventually, we'd like to get to the point where Pozotron will give you live proofing feedback as you record. So, if you don't have a director, Pozotron can be your director. That's the intention. That part of it is a massive technical challenge. Doesn't mean we can't do it, but it is significantly difficult. So that is the Posoprompter. And you'll see, I guess it's technically in alpha testing right now. It'll be in beta testing for a wider group of people, being all of our users, within the next couple months.
Very exciting. And if you do have any feedback on that, please let us know because it is in development stages. But before I let you go, I just want to show you quickly, if you have any problems, if you have a particular workflow, if you'd like to meet with us for a one-on-one consultation, any help at all, that is all under this help button right here. You can request support, access our tutorials, our help center, our previous webinars, and you can also book a demo, which is really just booking a call. It doesn't have to be a demo with myself, and we're happy to go through your workflows and answer any questions you have. And how to get involved, last thing here. Lindsay, if you want to put any links in the chat for how to become an affiliate. So if you are recommending Pozotron to people, you can get rewards for both yourself and the person you're referring by being an affiliate with Pozotron. So if you're interested in that, there is a link in the chat for that. And considering what we just showed you with the Posoprompter, if you would like to become a beta tester and get access to our new features before they're released, and give us feedback and help us develop these tools for you, please let us know. Just email Lindsay at positron.com and she will add you to the list and give you the access you need. But we appreciate it. We work with you guys on these tools because you're actually going to use them. So generally, that's a good idea. And with that, that is the end of the webinar, only 1 minute over. So thank you very much for your time today. Hopefully you learned some tricks on using our prep tools that can make you faster and more efficient in your own projects. And if there's anything we can do, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Claire. Thanks, Ty. Good to see you.